March 8, 1968. The icy port of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky is shrouded in fog. Crewmen of the Soviet submarine K-129 wave their last goodbyes before descending beneath the Pacific. Their orders are sealed. Their destination, classified. Officially, the mission was a routine patrol. Unofficially, it was part of the Soviet nuclear deterrence network, a silent shield beneath the sea, armed with 3 R-21 ballistic missiles, each capable of delivering a megaton warhead to the American West Coast. Then, somewhere between Kamchatka and Hawaii, the submarine disappeared. No distress signal, no debris, no survivors. In the age of satellites, a whole war machine simply vanished beneath the waves. At first, the Soviets believed it was a navigational error, or perhaps an onboard fire. But when days turned into weeks, the silence became unbearable. Dozens of warships and aircraft combed the Pacific, tracing the submarine's supposed route. To the outside world, the operation was cloaked in secrecy. But in Washington, the U.S. Navy's Undersea Listening Network, SOSUS, had already detected something extraordinary, a distinct low-frequency bloop, followed by the sound of a metallic implosion. The signature matched a pressure hull collapse at nearly 16,000 feet. Analysts triangulated the position, latitude 40 degrees north, longitude 180 degrees west. The heart of the Pacific, neutral waters. For the CIA, this wasn't just an accident. It was an opportunity to access Soviet nuclear secrets, technology, and codes without firing a single shot. Thus began one of the most ambitious covert operations of the Cold War. Langley called it Project Azorian, a mission so secret that even its funding was disguised as deep-sea mining research. The plan, to construct a massive vessel capable of lifting a 2,000-ton submarine from 5 kilometers beneath the ocean surface. To maintain plausible deniability, the CIA partnered with billionaire Howard Hughes, whose eccentric reputation provided the perfect cover story. The public was told that Hughes was developing a ship, the Glomar Explorer, to mine valuable manganese nodules from the ocean floor. In truth, its cargo bay hid a steel claw the size of a football field, codenamed the Capture Vehicle. The operation would push the limits of engineering, secrecy, and human endurance. As one engineer later said, "We were building a hand to reach into the underworld." For 6 years, America poured more than $800 million, equivalent to billions today, into a mission no one could ever acknowledge. July 1974. In the middle of the Pacific, under a false flag of civilian research, the Glomar Explorer anchored above the coordinates. Below, 5 kilometers of steel cable reached down into the abyss. The descent took hours. The water pressure was enough to crush a battleship. Inside the control room, engineers monitored vibration sensors and hydraulic arms, praying that the claw would align with the wreck. Finally, after endless tension, contact. A distant metallic echo returned from the deep. For days, the crew worked in silence, slowly hoisting the massive wreck toward daylight. But as the submarine neared the surface, a section gave way. Half of K-129 slipped back into darkness, along with its nuclear warheads. The ship's deck was silent. Some cried. Others just stared into the horizon. They had touched history, only to watch it fall away again. The CIA retrieved what it could: a section of the submarine's forward hull, several code books, and the remains of 6 sailors. To avoid diplomatic outrage, they held a secret burial at sea, wrapping the bodies in the Soviet flag, saluting as a camera quietly recorded. When the footage was declassified decades later, it revealed a rare moment of humanity within the machinery of espionage. But soon after the mission, rumors began to leak. Journalists from the Los Angeles Times caught wind of a strange mining ship with military escort. When pressed, the CIA gave a now legendary response: "We can neither confirm nor deny." The Glomar Response became the blueprint for governmental secrecy worldwide, a polite phrase for silence, a linguistic lock for inconvenient truths. Behind closed doors, even U.S. senators were told only fragments. Project Azorian was officially terminated. Unofficially, it became myth. In the Soviet Union, K-129's loss remained an open wound. Families were told little, only that their sons had perished on duty. No bodies returned home. The Navy quietly replaced the submarine in records, as if erasing it from memory. But whispers among veterans hinted otherwise. Some claimed the submarine had fired an unauthorized missile before sinking, a possible mutiny or a malfunction. Others suggested an American collision, covered up by both sides to prevent nuclear escalation. Neither theory was ever proven. In 1993, when Russian and American veterans finally met at a naval symposium, they stood together in silence before a photograph of the lost crew. Cold War enemies, united by grief and by secrecy. Half a century later, the wreck of K-129 still rests at the bottom of the Pacific, 5 kilometers down, where no light can reach. The steel is corroded, the paint long gone, but the emblem on the conning tower, the red Soviet star, remains faintly visible. Time moves on, yet the ocean remembers. It remembers the hum of propellers, the last transmission that never arrived, the silence that followed. The sea has no ideology. It swallows all flags, all borders, all secrets. And somewhere in that eternal pressure lies the answer, not of nations, but of men, of what we choose to forget and what refuses to stay buried.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the bell.